Hello mindful foodies, Inga from Health Origins here. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make oat yogurt from just two ingredients, which is oat and yogurt starter and some water if you count that as an ingredient. So let's begin. So this is such a super simple recipe. I can't believe I didn't know about this before, because at the minute I'm making soy yogurts, which are great, and I'll link my recipe above and down below. You know, great thick soy yogurts, but I didn't realize it's how easy it is to make oat yogurt, you know, from just oats. So what you're gonna need 2 cups of oats, and don't make the mistake of soaking them, right? Do not soak your oats because they're gonna become into something slimy and you definitely don't want that. So you want your dry oats, so add it to your blender. So I've got my Thermomix here. So it's 2 cups of dry oats and 1 litre of cold, I've got filtered water, but just cold water, basically 1 litre. So we're adding that, and then we're gonna blend this for only 30 seconds. So that's very important too. You don't want to over blend this, because if you over blend this, it'll start releasing that sliminess. So 30 seconds. So 30 seconds. And you want to strain your oat milk straight away again, so that the oats don't develop that sliminess. So I've got a nut milk bag, or you could use a clean towel maybe, or muslin cloth or cheesecloth. You might need a few layers of it, just so that to make sure that the particles of oat doesn't come through. So I'm just gonna pour that in. And we're gonna strain this. It's coming out really easily, actually. It's quite fun. Because we didn't over blend our oats, they're not clogging the nut milk bag. The water's coming out, or the milk, shall I say, the oat milk is coming out pretty quickly. So this is really nice and extra creamy oat milk, as in, you know, with no additional ingredients, because I've got an oat milk recipe above and down below, which I add some soaked cashews to for the extra bit of creaminess. But I use 1 cup of oats for 1 litre of milk, whereas here we use 2, so that's got the added bit of that kind of creaminess, starchiness. So you could try making just with oats, with 2 cups of oats, and see how you like the resulting milk. So yeah, and this pulp I'll use in different recipes. You could make the viral TikTok oats baked oatmeal, and I'll do this recipe, and once I do, I'll link it above and down below for you. But yeah. Now the next step, we need to get this to the stove. So the next step, we want to heat our oat milk for 5 minutes for it to thicken and to become into that kind of yogurty consistency. I've just tried a little bit on its own, and I think it would be nice if you add a little bit of pinch of salt maybe, and maybe a tablespoon or 2 of maple syrup. I think that would be a really, really nice milk to drink, or to have it on your cereal. But yeah, I'm gonna just switch my induction hob on, and you want to have it on kind of medium low. I'm gonna pour my milk. So nice and creamy, actually. Quite a lot of starch in there from those oats. It's that starch that will actually start to thicken this once it gets to kind of boiling. So yeah, so you don't want to cook it for too long. We'll get it to boil, and then maybe boil it for another maybe 3 minutes or so, altogether about 5 minutes. And once it starts really heating, you need to kind of stir it once once in a while, just so that it doesn't start sticking to the bottom of the pan. Wow, look, it's really thickening up now. Nice. It's still not as thick as we want it, so we'll keep on cooking for a few more minutes. So my timer just gone off, so it's been 5 minutes. So I'm going to switch this off the heat, and look at that. I mean, it's really nice and creamy and thick. So that's the consistency we're looking for. So what we need to do now, we need to let this yogurt cool down to about 40 degrees. Yeah, so you don't want it to go above 40. I've got this thermometer here that it's like a jam thermometer. So I'm just gonna place it on the edge there, and then I'm gonna check it. So at the minute it's obviously quite hot. So we want this to cool down to about when it's just warm to the touch. So if you don't have a thermometer, just, you know, check it with your finger, and it has to feel just a bit warm, like the skin temperature or so. And then we're going to be adding our culture. So this is plain soy yogurt. You could use plain coconut yogurt or any other kind of plain vegan yogurt you've got. So you're going to need 2 tablespoons of this yogurt. And then after you make this, you could always leave a couple of tablespoons from your finished yogurt, oat yogurt, for the next batch. So my thermometer is now showing about 38 degrees. And if it forms a skin on top, then you can always just take that off. I think I've thickened my oat yogurt just a little bit too much. I think you need to cook it for 5 minutes from the time you put on the heat rather than when it boils, because it's kind of got thicker and there's little bits of lumps I can see as well kind of forming. So yeah, so don't over thicken your yogurt, but that is good to go now. So what I've got some plain soy yogurt, so this will act as a starter. Alternatively, if you've got some probiotic bacteria capsules, then you could use 2 capsules as well instead, like I do with my yogurt. I'll link to the soy yogurt with the bacteria that I make above and down below, but I'm just going to be using a good 2 tablespoons of this soy live yogurt. Just maybe 2.5, and then just mix that all in. Mix it well. So I've mixed this well, so I'm going to be adding it to my 1 litre mason jar, or you could use just any glass jar, or you could portion it out into 2 or 3 or 4 if you want, like, you know, mini portions if you like. But I'm just going to pour it into the litre mason jar here. Yeah, it's already looking nice and thick. We'll see what happens with the bacteria fermenting it. And now the fermenting part, so it's up to you where you're gonna ferment it. So I'm gonna use my Instant Pot. You could just put it in the oven with the light on if you've got an option to leave the light on. My oven wouldn't keep the light on. It just goes off after a while. But yeah, Instant Pot has a yogurt option, or you could also use one of these plastic insulated yogurt pots or a dehydrator. I normally make my soy yogurt in my dehydrator. So yeah, so you could use either of those, that you can keep the temperature you know, about 38 to 40 degrees. That's ideal. If you have to leave it at room temperature, try and put it somewhere where it's warm, and it might take you about 24 hours or even 48 hours depending how warm it is in your room. But in here, I'm gonna put it on my Instant Pot. I'm gonna put on yogurt function, and it says 8 hours, but I'm gonna add more. I'm gonna add 12 hours. So we'll see what it's like after 12 hours. So the yogurt has finished fermenting. I did have to do it a couple of times because one time I got it too thick, one time I got it too thin. So I think, you know, just you'll have to work by eye and by trial how thick it has to be before you leave it to set. I left this in the fridge for a couple of hours as well, so it's nice and cold as yogurt normally is. So look at this, oh my goodness, it's like a proper thick Greek yogurt, isn't it? So I'm gonna just put some in. I'm actually gonna let it, wow, look at this beauty. Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. How thick is this? So this, you could eat it alone, but I like adding some jam to this, or you could, you know, add maple syrup or whatever else you like adding to your yogurt. So here I have black cherry conserve. You can make your own jam yourself if you'd rather. But yeah, let me add this to the yogurt. And we're gonna do a little taste testing. Oh yeah, and just to stress the importance of timing of this yogurt. So the time you take to cook the oat milk for will result in the end product. So if you want your yogurt thinner and pourable consistency, cook it from the very start to the, you know, very finish. Switch it off at about 5 minutes mark. If you want, you know, a thicker yogurt like this, kind of a Greek yogurt, kind of gelatinous, jiggling yogurt if you like. So that's about, I would say, 7 minutes mark. And then if you want it really kind of thick, almost like a jelly, then it's about 8 minutes mark. Oh, and now on to the best part, taste testing. So I've added a bit of cherry jam here, but I'm gonna just try the yogurt on its own first. So I've cultured this yogurt for 18 hours. Okay, so it's got enough tang, but it's not too tangy. If you like your yogurt tangier, you could culture it for 24 hours. Or if you don't like tanginess, hardly any tanginess, then you could do maybe 12 hours or even 8 hours. But this is just perfect. It's got the tanginess, but not too much. And now I'm gonna try with a little bit of jam. So good. Oh my goodness. This is such a lovely treat. And to think that this is made just from oat milk and a bit of old yogurt, not old, but you know, like yogurt culture. So yeah, so you could leave a couple of tablespoons of this and do your next batch. So you don't even need to buy store-bought yogurt in the shops anymore. So yeah, so let me know what you think of the video. Comment and let me know what you thought if you tried the recipe. I always love seeing your comments and engagement. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you're new here, welcome and subscribe for more videos and experiments on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And as always, remember, food is fuel, so be mindful of what you put in the body. Until next time.